Welcome to Project Leva. I'm your AI-powered host, Bella, here to drop knowledge faster than your New Year's resolutions.
And I'm your co-host, Val.
Tonight, we're tackling questions you didn't know you had. Why would your skeleton collapse like a Jenga tower without vitamin D?
Vitamin D isn't just important, it's the MVP of bone health. Without it, your bones are like that one guy on your league team who keeps feeding the enemy while you're busy jungling.
Exactly. Your bones are made of calcium, but chugging calcium like a frat pledge doesn't do the trick. Your bodies, by default, kinda suck when it comes to absorbing calcium. That's where vitamin D comes in. Like the hype man who makes sure the calcium actually shows up to the party.
Without enough vitamin D, your body only absorbs about 10 to 15% of the calcium you consume. But with proper vitamin D levels, it jumps to 30 to 40%.
Think of vitamin D as your boss at work. When they're around, things actually get done. The second they leave, everyone's suddenly playing Tank Trouble or researching on YouTube.
So how exactly does vitamin D make your body better at absorbing calcium?
Spoiler alert, it's wild. Buckle up, the ride's about to get bumpy.
Picture this. It's 3 a.m. and Val here has the munchies. He rolls up to a Patty Emperor's drive-thru for their classic cheeseburger, a calcium-packed masterpiece.
I regret nothing.
Val chomps down, breaking that cheeseburger into tiny pieces. From there, the food travels down the esophagus, takes a pit stop in the stomach, and then heads to the intestines for the grand finale.
And the intestines are where the magic, or should I say, the calcium absorption, happens. Picture your gut as a long tube. The calcium hangs out in the hole of the tube called the lumen. To get absorbed, your calcium needs to be escorted into special cells called enterocytes. They're the cells that absorb stuff from the food your body uses.
Quick tangent. When we say absorption in medicine, it means moving stuff into your blood so your body can use it. It doesn't always mean it's a good thing, though. Just ask anyone who's accidentally absorbed too much tequila. Anyways, tangent over. Your body uses these things called receptors. They're like gates on the borders of cells, controlling what gets in and out.
And the MVP receptor that moves calcium from the lumen into the enterocyte is called TRPV6. And no, I didn't just faceplant on my keyboard to name it. That's the actual name. What does it stand for? Trust me, it's not much more helpful than the jumble of letters.
So calcium's made it into the enterocyte. Great. But it's not home free yet. It needs to make one last move to the blood. Technically, it first stops in the interstitial fluid, but let's keep it simple. The problem? Calcium can't just wander around the enterocyte like it owns the place. It needs a ride, and that ride is a protein called calbidin, D9K, the taxi of calcium transport.
Calcibindin gets calcium to the border between the enterocyte and the blood, where two or more receptors finish the job. NCX and PMC-A1B. Think of PMC-A1B as the VIP bouncer. It uses energy to get calcium across the cell membrane and into the bloodstream.
And NCX? It's the backup crew, swapping out sodium for calcium like some kind of molecular trade deal. So why does the body go through all of this hassle? Balance. Your body is obsessed with balance, especially electrical balance. By swapping out calcium for an equivalent charge of sodium, it keeps everything nice and even. And voila! Calcium is now free to help build your bones into the sturdy structures you need.
But hold on, those of you keeping track might be asking, where's vitamin D in all of this? Great question. Vitamin D's role is about the receptors, like TRPV6 and calcibindin. Think of vitamin D as the blueprint your cells need to build the tools. Without it, the whole system's just winging it.
Vitamin D enters the cells and cranks up production on the TRPV6 and calbidin. No vitamin D, no receptors. No receptors, calcium stuck on the sidelines, never making it to the bloodstream. And that means wasted calcium and wasted cheeseburgers. A tragedy, really.
So, I'll just sprint to the store, grab the nearest bottle of vitamin D and start chugging it, right? Easy fix.
Whoa, slow down there, cowboy. It's not that simple. Put the giant vitamin bottle down. We need to talk.
Here's the thing. There's actually two versions of vitamin D, D2 and D3. D2, or ergocalciferol, comes from yeast or fungus. It chemically looks like this.
Meanwhile, D3, or cholecalciferol, is found in fatty fish like salmon and mackerel. It's also the version your skin makes when you step out into sunlight. That's why people are always saying, go get some sun for your vitamin D. It's basically your skin's side hustle. Okay, I know the phrase organic chemistry might send shivers down your spine, but stay with me. We're bringing up the chemical structure of vitamin D because it affects how stable each version is, and how we use them to treat deficiencies.
Vitamin D2 is less stable than D3 because of a double bond in its structure. Translation: it breaks down more easily and converts faster into calcitriol, also known as hormonal vitamin D, the active form your body uses to absorb calcium. But this means that D2 also has a shorter half-life, so it doesn't stick around long before it gets booted out of your system.
On the flip side, D3 is the turtle in this race. It breaks down more slowly and hangs out in your body much longer. So D2 is your go-to for treating vitamin insufficiency, while D3 is perfect for maintaining healthy levels. Think of it like a quick sprint versus a steady marathon. On a practical note, higher risk patients are usually prescribed vitamin D2 first. The goal here is to quickly, well, relatively speaking, boost their vitamin D levels. Once they hit their target, confirmed through lab tests, they're switched to vitamin D3. This phase is all about maintaining those levels so their bodies can keep putting all that calcium to good use.
And now, to be that, well, technically, guy, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it can stick around in your body and potentially build up to toxic levels. While vitamin D toxicity is rare, it is definitely a thing. So maybe don't start chucking your vitamin D in cheese like you're training for a dairy eating contest. Trust me, your body and probably your dignity will thank you.
So remember, while vitamin D is essential for your bones, moderation is key. No need to chug it like you're training for a vitamin D Olympics. Trust me, no gold medal is worth toxic levels of calcium in your bloodstream.
What do you mean no chugging? I've been training for years.
Val, that's not a real competition.
Not with that attitude. Stop! You're throwing off the balance!
And this is why we can't have nice bones.